and fill up some more space on the old computer. How many of you have seen that little 5-minute clip that Trev put up today, just on the section of the webinar where he's talking about the percentage of people who are in and the members of people, how many football clubs have got 70,000 people and all that sort of stuff? Have you seen that again? Yep. Okay.
No, Tim.
No. You haven't seen it yet, Pete? Yet. Jerry, have you seen it yet?
No, not yet.
No.
I saw the link.
Yeah, okay. No. All right. Well,
not yet.
We'll sort of cover a little bit of that again because, quite frankly, I think those numbers are staggering. I really do. From an industry perspective, we've got to understand that Isagenix is the number one, the biggest multi-level marketing company in Australia. Okay, so that's fine. And from that comment, you would think there'd be hundreds of thousands of people involved. Well, there's a lot of people. There's probably been, 150, maybe 200,000 people involved, could be more. But they got sold a box. They got sold a $600 box or a $540 box, and was told it's you plus two, them plus two, good luck. Go and get a couple of your friends to do the same. And they get the product, the PIB bonus, the $80 and then the $80, which doubles to $160 and $160, and they think they've done well out of it, right? So there's Maria, there's Lynn coming on.
Hello.
Hey, girls, how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
All right. Now, yeah, we've had a great day, Maria. Been a great day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mute everybody because I want to go through this and I want it to come up clear on the recording, okay? So I'm just going to mute everybody. Where am I? Mute all. There we go. And I'll get rid of that. Get out of that. All righty. So what happens is you would think from the comment that it's the largest multi-level company in Australia. There'd be hundreds of thousands of people, and there possibly have been over time. But a product user will use the products until they reach their required goal and then stop using the product. And we've got a lot of people doing that, right? Because they think it's a bit like going to the doctor when you've had your course of antibiotics and you're feeling better. Well, you just stop taking the antibiotics, and that's the right thing to do. Whereas with this being a food product, you keep eating the healthy food.
You got to keep it.
Right? So in doing all this, what happens is we just, for some reason, think that the whole thing is stop, start. It's not. You don't put, like I was just talking to Mike, he's got an issue with his car and he's servicing guy, but you don't put crappy oil in an expensive car and expecting it to run for years and years and years and never give it an oil change. You don't do it, right? And yet our bodies, we're reluctant to spend the money on the maintenance and keeping the body in good trim. And so when we look at this on a different perspective, we look at it from a business perspective, right? Because what you want is to create a consistent flow of money. You want a consistent flow. You don't want to up, down, stop, start. You want a consistent flow of money. Any business wants a consistent flow of money. If you've got a flow of money that's up, down, you can't survive on it. It doesn't work, right? So let's go back to what Trevor was talking about. He was talking about the Essendon Football Club has got 65,000 fully paid up members in the club. I think Collingwood's got the highest at 75,000. And all the clubs combined have got 900,000 paid up members. Isagenix has got 60,000 paid up members. And you sit there and you think, now hang on, you've got to get your head around this. You've got to think it through. These people in the football clubs, they love their football. They love their teams. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. They've paid their membership to go there and enjoy football week in, week out, week in, week out through the football season. They get no financial reward for it. In fact, it costs them even more money when they get there because they're going to buy a few beers. I think you'd be flat out buying a beer at a football match these days for $5, right? And you know, that's only if you're going to have one. Don't get into a school of, $10, John? $10 for a beer. Mate, I would go thirsty for that. Like, I couldn't, like, why would you go to the footy and get drunk at $10 a glass? That's a hard way to do it, right? So there's no financial gain there, and across the league, and this is just AFL, across the league, there is 900,000. Then you got Jerry's mates who play that other silly game, rugby, right? I don't know what the numbers are there. Don't you wave your finger at me, Jerry Gavin. Right? But there, somebody's on the chat to me. Hang on a second. I've got to figure this out. Not even a glass, cheap plastic cup. Yeah, that's right. You don't even get a glass. You got to drink it out of plastic cups. Like, oh, crikey. And so let's get our head around this. We're offering people a business for $25 plus they buy their food, and they can become millionaires by learning some basic fundamental skills and sharing that concept in a intelligent, structured way. All right? Now, surely, as intelligent adults that we are, we must be able to find 5. Now, we might sponsor 15 to 20, could be 30. You might have to sponsor 40 people to find 5 that are going to get it. Wouldn't matter. If you had to find 4, if you had this over the next couple of years, if you had to sponsor 40 people to find 5 that got it and taught them to go and get their 5 and so on and so on, to become a millionaire, would that effort be worth the reward? I'm going to nod my head and say, yep, you bet it is. Now, what happens is we struggle, and, you know, it's in here, right? We struggle in here coming to grips with something that's outside our normal. It's outside our everyday concepts. It's a real paradigm shift, right? It's a real shift in our paradigm of who we are, what we are, and what we do, to think that by simply doing what we're now doing, ordering some products, consuming those products, sharing that idea with a few other people, that if we got, and we could teach them how to plug into Zoom, how to use that little 10-minute video, how to show the 48-minute video, how to go along to the seminars, promote the Team FSI Facebook pages, the TNC Facebook page, that you could actually become independently wealthy by those simple, basic fundamentals. And then the concept, the fear of going out and doing it, it's like, you know that on the other side of the door is your freedom, but you've got this concept in your head that the door handle's like a red hot knob. You're not going to touch it because you're frightened you might get burnt. You're frightened of what's on the other side of the door. Well, what's on the other side of the door are more people like you. They want the dream. They want to get rich. They want to be wealthy. They want to be secure. They want to be healthy. They don't want to be tied to a job for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And if they've already retired, they'd like some extra dollars in that retirement to be able to enjoy retirement, not just penny pinch their way through retirement. Right? So what I want to do is I'm going to share the page, and I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do this one, right? Business by the numbers, right? Business by the numbers. Now, I've written these words here. This was up the other week, and I've put them there by purpose, right? I've put them there by purpose. And in doing that, the reason for those words is real simple. This business is fueled. The fuel is the passion within you to win. It's the passion to win. That's your fuel. What that fuel actually is a dream. And we get a little bit scared to dream too far out. What we need is a dream that's got a magnet in it that just grabs us and draws us in. It helps us chase down our 4 aces. Right? We've got to chase down our 4 aces. The dream, you'll only go and do it if you've got a dream big enough. Right? If your fear is this big, your fear of rejection, your fear of whatever it is, if your fear is that big, you need a dream this big to get you past your fear of that big. And when Trevor was talking about the guys that had just gone and bought a farm over in the UK, you know, they got a beautiful new home here in Queensland. He just bought a new, I think it was early this year or late last year. It might have been early this year, I think it was. He just went and bought a new 4-wheel drive Mercedes-Benz AMG. Right? Nice car. Guarantee you it's worth more than my Commodore. Right? So they've got a brand new home in Queensland. They've got 5 kids. It's got a brand new AMG 4-wheel drive, which would be at least a couple of $100,000 worth, and now just gone and bought a farm over in the UK. And this is their only source of income. Do you think they've got a dream bigger than their fears? Absolutely. See this? 60,000 active associates. What that boils down to is a bit over a half of 1% of all households in the country are using Isagenix on a regular basis. Just over a half of 1% of the households in this country. In New Zealand, there's only 11,000. This is business by the numbers. Isagenix will pay the money. Right? Imagine what you could do here, anywhere around this mark around here, the $9,000, the $12,000, the $15,000 a week. A week. Imagine what that would do to your life. I mean, I don't know, that's staggering stuff, but surely if you let your imagination run, you could think of something. I was thinking about it the other night after Trev finished, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, this is exciting stuff. About 200 acres would be nice. Not too far out of town, but far enough out to be out. And on there, I'd need at least 2 good sheds. 1 good shed I'd need for a workshop where my mechanic and car detailers would operate out of, and the other shed would be full of the cars they finished working on. Right? I put Jay Leno to shame. Right? The cars I'd have in there would be just unbelievable. If you were looking for Tim, he's over in the other shed. He's looking at his cars. He's out on a drive. You know, I mean, amazing stuff. I want to build a four-wheel drive purpose-built for me. Right? I want this thing to have 1,100 Newton meters of torque. If you're not into cars, this is all spaghetti to you. But that would pull about 8 to 9 ton. It would be 6-wheel drive. 2 at the front, 4 at the back. Man, beautiful thing. How big's your dream? And so when we go and look at all this stuff, guys, I'm not trying to tell you how to do anything. I'm just not. Right? I've had a pretty big day today. We had one of the new distributors call in yesterday. They were with us for about 4 hours, and they came back again today. And they were only with us for 3 hours today. And I can tell you this, you think they're excited? Man, they are pumped up, going for it. It is just mind-blowing the amount of people that he will be a Crystal manager probably within a fortnight. Boom. Right? And then one of the other guys called in, and they know each other, right? And they're in our business, but they're in different businesses, and they know each other, and they know a lot of the same people. Well, man, you should have seen them. Oh, what about? Oh no, I can't tell you about him. Oh well, you could see that they were thinking, oh man, I got to get to all my people before the other one gets to them. It was beautiful. I just sat back and watched. It was beautiful to watch, right? And each of them started talking about their dream, what they wanted to do, why they wanted to do this. Right? The dream. The absolute power of the dream. So we'll stop sharing there for a minute. And think about this. There's people at home tonight that you know, and they're sitting there stressing out how the hell they're ever going to survive Christmas. They don't know what they're going to do for money. They'll put it on credit card again like they did last Christmas, but they didn't pay it off. They'll get an extension of credit on their credit card just so as that they can get through Christmas. Really? And you're sitting there and you're not offering this to them? You don't know how hard they're prepared to work to set themselves free. You don't know how hard some mums are prepared to work so as they could stay home and look after their babies. And you're not even waving the flag. You're not even telling them that it's possible. Right? Now, I hope this plays, right? And I'm going to need you guys to give me a thumbs up if you can hear this, please. It's really important. It's a CD I hope I'm going to be able to play. And I just want you to listen in tight to the words on these couple of songs. I've got them queued up. They're only going to go for a few minutes each, or a couple of minutes each, okay? So bear with me for this. I go there.
I'm going to ridicule you. I'm going to criticize you. You need to go out there and show this plan 30 times a month. You need to dare to listen to not one tape, 3 tapes a day. You need to dare to go to every open and every seminar, every function. You need to dare to be a listener. You need to dare to edify your upline, your downline, and everybody. You need to dare to learn. You need to dare to be humble. You need to dare to grow and to know that you need to change and become a better person. You need to dare to be able to give. become free.
Search for the hero inside yourself. Search for the secrets you hide. Search for the hero inside yourself. Until you find the key to life.
Always have a dream. Keep your eye on that dream. Don't let obstacles stop you. Don't let criticisms dismay you. Don't you ever quit. Work hard for what you want. And I reiterate again, don't you ever quit when things go wrong, as they sometimes will. When the road you're trudging seems all uphill. When the funds are low and the debts are high, and you wanna smile but you have to sigh. If care is pushing you down a bit, rest if ye may, but don't you quit.
Don't tell me you can't be done. From this planet for everyone. With every reason to put it right. What is this? What is this world doing?
Have a little fight about you. Don't be willing to just take anything from anybody. Have that little fight about you that says, nobody is going to tell me this thing doesn't work. Nobody is going to steal my dream. Nobody is going to take this business away from me and my family. I've heard too much and I've seen too much, and this business is mine. And if you do that, and when you do that, we're going to see you in Diamond Club. We're going to see you on the beaches of the world, and we'll all go shopping together, right?
Don't tell me you can't be done. When this planet for everyone. With every reason to put it right. What is this? What is this world doing?
So, I dug those couple of golden oldies out, and I think that's us guys. You know, look, everyone in this room, on this Zoom room, has got enough talent, has got enough, anything they need. They've got enough personality. You've got enough people. You've got enough to go out and build whatever it is you want. You just got to get over yourself and go and do it. Because like Trevor, we've been around networking for nearly 30 years. And I've never, ever, 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 ever been more excited about what's coming. And I mean this wholeheartedly with every fibre that's in me. I have never been this excited. And I tell you what, I've been excited. Let me tell you about some of the times I've been excited. Right? I've been excited because the first time I ever travelled overseas was in a network. And, you know, we've been to Hawaii a few times. I've been to Las Vegas a few times. We've seen some magnificent shows. I was excited. You know, we've been to some amazing places. We've been to the top of Whistler Mountain. We've skied the black slopes of Whistler. We had a Christmas dinner on Whistler Mountain at the chalet. I've been to the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square, not just to stand outside and look, but I've been inside the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square in communist China with a whole bunch of other networkers as a guest of the Chinese government for a 15-course dinner with the Chinese Philharmonic Orchestra playing for us. And I was excited. Do you know why I was excited? I thought, how the hell does a high school dropout get inside the Great Hall of the People of Communist China and have the Philharmonic Orchestra of China play for me? All I did was make a list, draw a few circles, contact some people, draw a few circles, follow up and teach. That's all I ever did. I'm not a great innovator in that respect. I'm a good follower. You know, you tell me what to do, I'll go do it, as long as I know I'm going to get a result. Well, I've been excited. Oh, man, I've been excited. We were talking about it today. We got one of the biggest Topaz bonuses that company ever paid out. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. I was excited. But that's nothing in comparison to the excitement I feel of what we've got today. What each and every one of you people in this team have got, the opportunity you've got, excites the socks off me. It really, really does. And all it needs is for each of you to pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. The trigger is the belief. The trigger is, if you don't have enough belief, run on my belief. If you don't believe enough in yourself, believe that I believe in you. And pull the trigger. Go out and talk to people. Ask them the question. Would an extra $1,000 a week take any pressure off your family? Pull the trigger. I am so excited because I can tell you this. There is not another Isagenix group anywhere in the country that has a system so simple that what we've got. It's not hard. You can mention the word Isagenix and you don't get kicked out of the room. You know, it's so simple. It is so simple. And when I look at where we are, to put it in layman's terms, here's the numbers. In March, when we go to that function up in Brisbane, there'll be about 3,000 people there, might be 3.5. Right? That's after 10 years. You give us 5 years of building this Chatham system in Isagenix, and you guys plugging your people in. You've got to promote. You're the transference. You're the transference. You've got to promote the system to your people. You've got to get them upline. You've got to get them plugged in. The system will do the rest. You give us 5 years of you doing that, week in, week out, day in, day out, we'll fill the tennis centre just in Trevor's group. And you will play your part. Each of us will play our part. The magnificent dance of life goes on and each must play their part. You will be the significant players. But you've got to believe that. You've got to see that. And if you can't see that, see something a little bit further ahead than where you are. I remember Robert Schuller gave us a lesson once on goal setting. He said, it's called peak to peak. He said you get a peak, which is a P-E-E-K, at the next P-E-A-K. And as you climb up that P-E-A-K, and you get to that peak, you then get another peak, P-E-E-K, at the next P-E-A-K. So it's a peak-to-peak principle. So if you can't see all what's going on and how big it could get, just try and see the next peak for you. It might be going 1 star. It might be getting a 5-cycle bonus. It could be anything. But you've got to get a look at where that is for you. Then go and get that. And once you've hit that peak, you'll get a P-E-E-K at the next P-E-A-K. When you've hit 1 star, shoot for 2. When you've hit 2, shoot for 3. Step by step. How do you do that? Well, you help the people that you've got get their 5-cycle bonus. Go to 1 star. And so on and so on, and so the dance goes on. Guys, Corinne and I, we just love you guys to bits. We don't, run around and, go chucking our arms around you every day and all that sort of stuff. You've got to understand something. We are so proud of everything you do. Everything you do. We are so proud of it. And all we want to be able to do is help you do it. I was looking at this book. I was looking in this again, right? And I know there's going to come a day where your name is going to be in this book. Your name's going to be in that book, right? And all it is taking those simple steps each day. Contact, send out a link, follow up, show the plan. That's it. There is no more complicated process than that. And so I was talking to Mark today. Mark's on there. He doesn't have a camera on his computer, but that's okay. And we were just talking about the fundamentals of health and what the fundamentals actually look like. So let me share the screen again, and we'll see what the fundamentals look like and whether you can build a business just on the fundamentals. Well, firstly, we'll assume that you're just the one person. There's not two of you in the house. There's just one. So one bottle of product B. And then what we want is one bottle of Ionics, because Ionics are fundamental to good mental and emotional health, good sleep. The product B is fundamental to cellular growth. We're only a mess of cells, so the best we can keep our cells is with product B. We get some Ionics into us, and of course, what we need to do is wipe out the toxins, and so we're going to need 2 canisters of cleansers. No, that's bars. 2 canisters of cleansers a month, just to keep the toxins out of us, so we get rid of our toxins. Now, we haven't got any food yet, okay? This is just foundational health. That's it, foundational health. All righty? So let's have a look and see what we've got there. We've got 138 BV. Just with those 3 products, 1 bottle of product B, 1 Ionics, and 2 canisters of cleanse. Now, again, what we've got is 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. Now, keep in mind, these numbers are important because there's 3,900 people there. Isogenics have got a total of 60,000, and they've got 27 people who've made $1 million in Australia. I don't know whether you can do the sums on that. Divide 27 by 60,000, or 60,000 by 27. All right? In fact, I'll do it for you. We've got a calculator here. So we'll go 60,000 divided by 27. Oh, if I switched it on, it'd work real good. Okay, 60,000 divided by 27. Oh, that's 2,222. So I guess at 4,000, guess what? And how many did you find? 5. How many did you teach your people to find? 5. You got to sponsor your 15 to 20 to get your 5. But you got to understand, this is only counting the volume of your business builders. This isn't counting the volume of everybody else that's still buying product. 32 grand a month. Foundation, right? Just foundational health. And then, of course, if we did something stupid and put a couple of canisters of shakes in there, whoops, you just went to 48 grand. Foundational health creates long-term income, wealth. That's $500,000 a year. You can do this. Understand the big picture is out there, but understand it starts off with these little steps. make a list. You got a list? Good. Start contacting the people. Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no. It doesn't matter. Out of everybody you're looking for that you've got on your list, you're probably looking for maybe 20, 25 people. And out of that 20, 25, they're going to condense down to find a handful that are going to build it. It's perfect. It's the perfect business. It's perfect. And John Abbott said the other week that you don't have to have any invoices. You got no accounts payable, no accounts receivable. You got no staff. You got no warehousing. You got no shipping. Like, this is just a business model from heaven. Guys, this is just the duck's guts. Now, don't do anything stupid, right? Don't go out there and do stupid things. Once it starts to work and you've got your 5 who've got their 5 and that, don't go out and sponsor another 5, right? Because that could muck it up big time. Oops, not 510, just 10, right? So now if you've got 10 who go out and find their 5 who've got 5, you've just mucked the whole thing right up. Right? You've just mucked the whole thing right up. It's just crazy. All right? So it just is not, it's just not worth it, right? You'd have to pay too much money in tax. What a shame. All right? Fancy having to pay tax on all that. Disgusting. So don't go and do anything stupid. Guys, we have the greatest opportunity that's ever come to the face of the earth to set people physically, financially, and emotionally free. Don't be greedy. Don't keep it to yourself. This is not a secret to keep. This is a gift to give. This is a gift. And the game of life goes on, and each must play their part. The game of Isagenix goes on, and some will play their part. Right? And I want it to be you guys. Look, I love Trev, and I know a lot of the other people in his group, and I love those guys too. But I don't want them getting in front of you. Come on. We're going to set this part of the Chatham group apart. We've got the key people, the business acumen, the ethics, the character of people. This is you. You're the guys we want to go holiday with, and the people that you bring with you. But we want you guys to be our keys. We want you to be the key leaders. We want you guys to understand what it feels like to have a massive win. Turn around and smile at people who say, nothing good's ever going to come out of that town where you live, sunshine. Right? That's when you pull up beside them in your brand new AMG Mercedes Benz and you just black patch the socks off their driveway. Say, I'll catch you later. Right? That's when you go around, that's when you go up to work one day and the boss has been giving you grief for whatever. And you just drive up about 11 o'clock. You tell him, I'm just calling him well. What do you mean you're calling in well? Well, I ain't ever coming back again. That's how well I am, right? That's when you ring up you go away on Friday night, you leave work on Friday night, you get on a plane Saturday morning, and you fly up into the Pacific somewhere on some island, and you get onto a satellite phone on Monday morning, and you say to him, tell your boss, do you know where I'm ringing you from? And he says, well, no, of course not. Why? Well, I'm in such and such a Pacific island, and I'll come back when I'm damn well good and ready. You won't have a job when you come back. I don't have a job now. Right? Can you imagine going into your bank? Not that we see bank managers much anymore these days. They're all, just machines. But going into your bank and the girl there on the counter says, you go in to do some transaction. The girl on the counter says, oh, would you like a readout of your account? Certainly. Oh my God, you've got over $1 million in there. Could you imagine that coming out of the teller? Right? Could you imagine going into the car dealership, any car dealership, whatever your favourite is, whatever your dream car is, and you go in there and you say, yeah, look, that's the one I want. I'll have that one. So, sir or madam, these are, this is very expensive. How do you plan to finance this? Finance it? Do people finance stuff like this? Well, of course, sir. Oh, no. Hang on, I'll be back in a minute. You rush out to your car, grab a briefcase, come back in, drop it on his desk, flip it open, and start counting out $100 bills. 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 150, 200, 300, 400,000. Thank you. Is that okay? Could you imagine the look on the salesman's face when you pay cash for a car? Cash, not write a check, not transfer the funds, cash. Right? Walk into the travel agent. You need a holiday, right? You need a break. You've been working hard. You've been out there building this thing hot and heavy, going for it. You've been going and going and going and going. Finally, you decide, I'm going to take a holiday. And you go into the travel agent and say, I need a holiday. Oh, good. Where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. You pick a place. Well, how much do you want to spend? Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, what sort of hotel do you want to stay in? A good one. But you must have a budget. Well, no. Why would I have a budget? You mean people go on holidays on a budget? Why would they do that? That's not a holiday. That's hell. Come on. You got to learn to think a little crazy. If you'll do what others won't, you'll play where others can't. All right, guys, I got to tell you, I am so convinced that you can find your 4 aces if you'll just go and look for them. You got to go and look for them. They're not living in your house. They're no longer on your job if you've already asked those people. But you've got to go look for them. And you'll find your 4 aces. But you've got to keep looking. You can't find the gold if you're not shifting dirt. If you're not shifting dirt, don't expect gold. If you're not looking for your 4 aces, don't expect your group to grow. Expectation and belief. You've got to believe this is going to happen. We've seen this happen before. We've seen it happen before only ever twice. We're now going to witness it for the 3rd time. You, this time, will be a part of that history. And this will become, because of the way the bonus structure is with Isagenix, this will become the highest paid multi-level structure the world has ever seen. And let me tell you why. Because in your left and your right legs, you start building your groups down there. Those people will know other people throughout Europe, the US and Canada. And the minute they sponsor those people in those countries, that week you get the bonus from international. Boom, just like that. Boom, right? There's no other qualification, really. You've just got, well, you do. You have to buy an international, which is $50. But the minute anything goes on internationally, boom, bonus week, that money comes to you. as Isagenix open up in Europe. Now, you've got to understand this. I don't know how many hundreds of millions of people there are throughout Europe. But at this point in time, 99.99999% of them are not in Isagenix. Right? Some of them will be in your organisation if you go and find your 4 aces. If you go sort and sift. If you don't, they will be in someone else's group, because I tell you, the world is looking for what we've got. The whole world is looking for what we've got. Right? Now, I don't know, I can't inspire you guys to go and do whatever it is you won't do. But I hope you can build a dream big enough to get you over the fears of what you find it difficult to do. You see, whatever's easy not to do is easy to do. It really is. You know, like remember last week I told you I've been out, I'd got my list going, bang, 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 bang. Well, I'd been doing my follow-ups. I got one message back from a bloke, said, mate, if I was interested, I would have got back to you. Sorry, not interested. Okay, fine. Flick. Yeah, it's not skin off my nose. I'm not the one missing out. He is. Right? I got another bloke, I followed him up the other day. He said, oh, mate, he said, I've been a little bit busy. I've been in court and all this sort of stuff going on in my life. Okay, no worries. I'll give you a ring next week. Yeah, that'd be good, right? So the follow-ups take a bit of time. The young lady I bumped into down at McDonald's while we were having coffee down there, she got back to me and wanted to know more about the product. So I sent her the product video, right? Got to follow her up tomorrow on that, right? So I'm doing exactly what you're doing. I'm getting no's. I'm getting some yeses. The young lady up in Queensland, well, turns out now what we're doing is, you know, I'm skitching Trev onto him. You know, I said to her dad, I said, listen, Garth, I said, this is what's going on. This is how much money's going on. This is how many people aren't in and all the rest of the stuff. He said, right. He said, if that's the money that's in and that's the percentages, I better get my whole family in front of this guy. I said, yeah, that'd be a good thing to do. So I was talking to Trev. Trev said, yep, we can organise that. So hopefully, it hasn't happened yet, hopefully I can get the 5 of them in front of Trevor. So there'll be Garth. Garth will sponsor 2 of his kids, right? And then he'll sponsor the other 2 on the outside of those 2. That'll be the 5. Bingo. Right? Now, it's interesting. Garth is already a multi-millionaire. But he's keen to have a go. So, you know, when a bloke tells you that he's still, you know, he's down to his last 120 million, and you're showing him the Isagenix plan, and he goes, well, that could be worth a look. Because Garth can see the long-term family benefit of having royalty incomes of millions of dollars coming in. Okay? Guys, I get the no's, I get a few yeses. You'll get some no's, you'll get a few yeses. Get a dream. Get a dream so big that it just burns a hole in your gut for not having it. Right? Really is. This is going to be staggeringly big. I'm speechless trying to get it across to you as to how big this is going to get and how important a part you could actually play in it. Right? I mean, truly. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter your background. I don't care whether you've got a job, don't have a job. I don't care what your circumstances and situations are. Right? You can play a big part in it. You really, really can. I'm going to unmute everybody now, and I'm just going to switch